Hello. So I want to talk about the critique of a few websites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you look at some previous projects of students, and we're going to do a critique of the general experience that you have in terms of usability, design choices, that sort of things. So what I'm going to have you do is take some time to go through each of these links. So these slides are available on Moodle, so go ahead and download the slide and cut and paste or copy and paste these links. Browse through the site. So for example, taking this one, copy and paste it into the browser. And when you browse through the website, I want you to consider these questions. So what are your first impressions? So when you get on there and just start poking around, how does it feel? What's your impression like? Does it feel good? Do you enjoy the experience? Also, think about what does it look like? How does it look? Does it look good? Do the colors work? Does the font work? Is it ugly? Is it cool? That sort of thing. And how does it feel to navigate? Do you get lost? Can you find what you're looking for? Is it clear what you should be looking for? Do you know what the website is about? Right? Does it have an objective, or is that kind of unclear? Like when you look at the website, you kind of sit there and say, what the heck is this website talking about? Right? Think about what's done well and what things that you would improve. Okay? So go ahead, stop this video and do that. Okay, so now that you've done that, hopefully you've taken a good amount of time to browse through those. I'm going to do a couple of these with you, okay? So I've taken the first one and I've popped it in here, okay? And the first thing I see is I don't get any imagery, so it's kind of hard to see what this is really about. Like they say, images go a long way. So pictures do say 1,000 words, and having a picture on your screen can give a general idea of what we're talking about. I have to actually read here, and okay, I see travel guide. Okay, so finally I kind of know what this is talking about. Yeah, that has to be very clear to your users. When they see your website, they should know exactly what they're looking at right away. Okay, so let's talk about navigation, and this is kind of cool, but kind of strange at the same time. At first, I don't even know that thing is navigation, so I wouldn't know to mouse over until I start moving my mouse around and oh, okay, there's something there. Okay, and you can actually go in there. So this one here is contact us, and I'm in this page here. And what I find really weird about this is that changed. Before it was contact us, now it says destinations. This one says home. Okay, and from the home, this one says about us. So that's really confusing how this kind of changes around on me, and I don't really know where anything is until I actually mouse over top of it. Let's go to destinations. And when I get into the destinations, I actually get a more traditional navigation bar, and this, I think this would have been a lot better for the website, honestly. It's very clear what can be done there. And then this thing all of a sudden changes again, right? Where this thing used to be these links and now has changed to the different locations. Let's go into one. Oh, now I finally have some images, and yeah, that's kind of cool that the pictures changed. That's rather nice. So these ones are fairly well done, I would think. But in terms of usability, it is kind of confusing how to get to things, where things are, etc. Okay, let's move on to the second link that we have here. No, actually, the second link is this one. I think I talked about it in another video where the guy just had designed for 1,920, and the biggest problem was when I had a smaller window, things were dropping off, and boxes were not fitting properly and stuff like that. So the third link. The third link here goes to this site here, and quite a pretty site, I think, right? I know we're talking about ice cream. That's very easy to see. Very nice welcome page, right? The home page, simple home page, right? Home pages don't have to be complex. Usually home pages are just like what I said, like a welcome page, where it just kind of gets you interested, grabs your attention, and just generally tells you what the site is about, okay? And then you'll be going into navigations, okay? This here I see a list of flavors, and since it's a list, why not make it a list, right? It should be, you know, bullet points. Maybe I can make it like a 3-column bullet point, or even 4-column. There's probably enough space to make 4 columns of bullet points. That could probably be achieved by maybe 4 floating boxes, or even a table, right? A table with 1 row and 4 columns, and each column having a number of different flavors and bullet points, because this is not very, how do I say, I wouldn't say readable, but I don't get a sense of a list of flavors, which is what it is. It's a list of flavors. Okay, so probably should be a list. And let's go into some other things here. Kind of a cool implementation here, but something that's kind of weird is they use a center align, and what that's done is made all these things not aligned, so it's kind of like back and forth here, and that's kind of strange, I find. But yeah, apart from that, just a slight aesthetic thing. That's not too bad. Let's move on. About us. Okay, that seems all right. Contact, frequently asked questions. Ah, okay, right. This is a bit weird. Questions. So they list all the questions and then they list all the answers, which is weird because what if I had like 20 questions? So I have 20 questions and then I have 20 answers, and then I have to kind of like jump up and down between the question and answers. That doesn't really work well for me in terms of usability. I think taking this and, you know, putting it, you know, right after the question. So here's the question, here's the answer. Here's the next question, here's the next answer. I think that would be a lot more effective in terms of usability. Okay, let's pull up another one. By the way, if you want to highlight an entire hyperlink, you just triple click, so click 3 times, and it'll highlight all that. So something kind of cool for you there. Okay, this one's actually quite nice. Fairly simple design, nice colors, straightforward, yoga, right? Nice imagery. And I seem to recall I like this one because it does actually have a fairly responsive design. So, you know, on a mobile view, right, if that was my mobile phone, it would actually look fairly decent. So again, that's not really within the scope of the course, but I don't know if this even happened by accident either. But it does work rather nice. She left it as a liquid format instead of a fixed width, so that's kind of nice. About, again, you know, sometimes simple design. I assume this is a floating image box, so float right here kind of separates that. That works kind of nicely. We have a nice interactive map here, so you can actually embed a map, and that can be used for scrolling. I think that's rather nice. Again, fairly nicely ordered. I think just simple 2-column layout where one is floated and the other just kind of like buddies up to this floated thing. Don't know which one is floated. I guess you could right click and inspect element and see which one's actually floated. Okay. This one might also be floated. A couple floated things. Okay. And here we can see the person's used a table. Okay. So I think this one, in terms of usability and design, I think it's probably the best of all these that I list over here. And maybe this is the last one. Okay, so in terms of usability, navigation, I think things are very straightforward. You can see everything is available up there. I know what's going on, Sweden, right? Yeah, attractions, nice and orderly. Let's see how this reacts. Okay, so this does have some flexibility. It is liquid to a certain point, but right about there, you can see it stops. And that's probably where she stopped me at about the 1000 pixel point. Okay. So yeah, I think in terms of usability, this one's very straightforward. Maybe underlining things. Be careful when you underline things, because when you underline something, often people assume they are links, and that's actually not a link. You see that these are links. That's not a link. That is a link, right? So be careful with underlining things, especially with the color blue as well. Blue and underline just screams link to me and many other people out there, so kind of remember that. Okay, so I hope that helps you out in terms of what I mean by usability and thinking about those sort of things. Keep that in mind when you're designing your web pages. Usually I do this exercise as a class activity, but since we don't really have much discussion, I will put a discussion forum underneath this video. So if you do want to critique or share your critique of any websites, you can post them there. I'm not going to require it, so that's just something that you can do if you want to kind of share and kind of discuss. But yeah, you're not obliged to do that. Okay, so there you have it.